My name is Julia. I am 26 years old. For most of my life I was careful with love. But one day I met someone who changed everything. I worked in a small bookstore near the city center. It was quiet, peaceful, and I loved the smell of books. I liked my simple life. I lived alone in a small apartment. Every morning I made tea, got dressed, and walked to the store. It wasn't a big job, but I was happy. Then one Monday morning he walked in. His name was Ryan. He had dark eyes, a soft smile, and a calm voice. He asked for a book about travel. I helped him find it. He thanked me and smiled again. That first meeting was short. But after that day he came back often. He asked me more questions. He talked about music, books, and dreams. We laughed together. I started to look forward to seeing him. One Friday evening, just before we closed, he asked, "Would you like to have coffee sometime?" I was surprised. My heart beat fast. I smiled and said yes. That weekend we went to a small coffee shop. It was raining outside, but I didn't care. We talked for hours. He told me about his job. He said he worked in tech. He said he loved helping people and wanted to travel the world. I told him about my quiet life, my love for books, and my dream to write stories. "You're different," he said. "You're not like other girls." That made me smile. No one ever said that to me before. After that day we started seeing each other more. He came to the store often. Sometimes he brought me lunch. Sometimes we met after work. He always said kind things. He made me feel special. I started falling for him. One evening after dinner he looked at me and said, "I like you, Julia. A lot." "I like you too," I whispered. He kissed me for the first time. My heart felt full. I believed it was the start of something real. In the weeks that followed, I told my friends about Ryan. They were happy for me, but one friend, Lily, looked unsure. "Just be careful," she said. "He's very charming. Too charming." I laughed it off. Lily was always careful with people. I didn't want to think anything bad. But slowly things started to change. Ryan stopped visiting the bookstore. He said he was busy with work. He didn't answer messages quickly. Sometimes he disappeared for a day or two. I asked him if something was wrong. "I'm just tired," he said. "My job is stressful. But I'm okay." I believed him. I wanted to trust him. One day he called me during lunch. "Hey," he said, sounding nervous. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course," I said. "I need some help. Just for a little while. My card isn't working and I have to pay for something important." "How much do you need?" I asked. "Just $200, he said. "I'll give it back next week. I promise." It was the first time he asked for money. I didn't feel good about it, but I wanted to help him, so I sent it. The next week he didn't talk about the money. He was sweet again, brought me flowers, and said he missed me. I forgot about it. I was happy to have him close again. But then he asked again. And again. Each time he said it was only once more. That he was fixing things. That it wasn't a big deal. I didn't tell anyone. I felt embarrassed. I kept thinking, he loves me. He just needs help. But one night I couldn't sleep. Something didn't feel right. So I searched his name online. And that's when I saw it. His name came up on a blog. A girl wrote about a man named Ryan who used women for money. The photo was the same. The smile was the same. Even the story was the same. My hands shook. I felt sick. Was this real? Was he using me too? I didn't want to believe it. but deep inside I knew. I sat in my bed staring at the screen. The blog post had pictures. Her story was just like mine. He met her in a bookstore. He made her feel special. Then he started asking for money. Always with a reason. Then he disappeared. I wanted to believe it wasn't true. Maybe it was someone else. Maybe she was lying. But I couldn't stop thinking. He never let me come to his place. He never introduced me to his friends. He always said, "Let's just be in the moment." And every time he needed money, he made me feel guilty if I said no. I remembered Lily's words. "He's too charming." I picked up my phone and messaged him. "Ryan, we need to talk." He didn't reply. An hour passed. 2 hours. Still nothing. My chest felt tight. My eyes were full of tears. I wanted to scream. I felt so stupid. So used. The next morning I went to the bookstore early. I couldn't focus. Every sound made me jump. Every customer made me hope it was him. By lunchtime I gave up waiting. I left work and went to the coffee shop where we first met. I sat at the same table and looked out the window. I didn't know what I was hoping for. Maybe he would walk in. Maybe he would explain everything. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding. But deep inside I already knew the truth. He wasn't coming back. I looked at my phone again. Still no message. No call. Nothing. That evening I told Lily everything. She listened quietly, then said, "I'm sorry, Julia. But you need to block him. He's not coming back. And even if he does, you can't trust him." I cried that night. Not because I lost him, but because I lost myself. I gave so much. I ignored the signs. I wanted love so badly that I couldn't see the truth. A few days later I saw him. I was walking home from work. He was across the street talking to another woman. He had that same soft smile. He touched her hand just like he used to touch mine. My legs felt weak. I stood still. I couldn't breathe. He turned his head and saw me. For a moment he froze. Then he looked away like I was no one. Just like that. No apology. No guilt. Nothing. He just kept walking with her. I went home and cried until my chest hurt. But that night something changed. I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes were red. My face looked tired. But I was still me. And I deserved better. No more waiting. No more crying for someone who never really cared. I blocked his number. I deleted the pictures. I threw away the scarf he gave me. It didn't fix everything. But it was a start. After that night I tried to move on. But it wasn't easy. Every morning I woke up tired. I dragged myself to work. I smiled at customers. I answered their questions and helped them find books. But inside I felt nothing. I felt like someone had taken something from me. Something deep. Something soft. My heart didn't feel full anymore. It felt small and scared. Lily checked on me every day. She came by the store during lunch. She brought snacks. She made jokes to make me laugh. She didn't say, "I told you so." She didn't ask too many questions. She just stayed close. And that helped more than anything. One Thursday morning something unexpected happened. A woman walked into the bookstore. She looked nervous. She wasn't holding a bag or a phone. She wasn't looking at books. She was looking at me. "Are you Julia?" she asked quietly. "Yes," I said slowly. She took a deep breath. "I'm sorry to bother you. My name is Megan." I think we've both met the same man. His name is Ryan. My heart stopped. I stared at her. You know Ryan? She nodded. I found your name in his phone. He saved you as bookstore girl. I thought you were a friend. But then I saw your photo. I knew. He did to you what he did to me. We sat down at the table near the back of the store. My hands were shaking. Her hands were shaking too. She told me everything. Ryan met her at a train station. He said he was lost. He asked for help. Then he started texting her. Then dating her. He said he liked her. He said he wanted something real. He told me I was special, she said. That I was kind. That I made him feel safe. I listened in silence. She went on. He said he was having money problems. Just for a short time. He asked for help. I gave him what I could. Then he needed more. And more. And then, he disappeared. I felt my stomach twist. It was the same story. Different woman. Same lies. Same smile. Same soft words. I gave him over $1,000, she whispered. I felt like crying. But no tears came. I was too tired. Too numb. I gave him even more, I said. She looked at me with wide eyes. You too. I nodded. Yes. We sat in silence for a moment. Two strangers. Two women. Same pain. I thought I was the only one, she said softly. No, I whispered. You're not. After Megan left, I closed the store early. I didn't feel like talking to anyone. I locked the door, turned off the lights, and sat behind the counter. My hands covered my face. And for the first time in days, I cried again. But these tears were different. They weren't just for Ryan. They were for me. For the girl who believed in him. For the girl who thought she found love. For the girl who wanted so badly to be loved that she ignored the signs. That weekend I started writing. Not to forget but to understand. I wrote about how I met him. How I fell for him. How I trusted him. And how he used me. I wrote the full truth. The smiles, the messages, the lies, the money, the silence. I called the piece, The Man Who Played with Hearts. I didn't plan to share it. But when I finished, I read it again. And I cried one more time. Not because I was weak. But because I was finally letting it out. Lily came over that night. I let her read the story. She wiped her eyes. Julia, you have to share this. Someone out there needs to read this. Someone needs to know they're not alone. I wasn't sure. I felt ashamed. But something in me said, maybe Lily was right. So I posted it on my blog. I didn't use Ryan's real name. I didn't write it for revenge. I wrote it for healing. At first, only a few people read it. But then slowly more readers came. They left comments. One woman wrote, "Thank you. This is my story too." Another said, "You gave me the courage to walk away." A third wrote, "I didn't know anyone else went through this. Thank you for sharing." And I realized, maybe something good could come from something bad. Maybe my pain wasn't just mine. Maybe by sharing it, I could help others find peace. The weeks passed. The pain didn't vanish. But it became smaller. It didn't sit on my chest every day. It just sat beside me sometimes. And I could breathe again. I stopped checking my phone. I stopped walking by the coffee shop where we first met. I stopped looking for him in every crowd. Instead, I started looking for myself. I joined a writing class. I met new people. I shared my work. I started to laugh again. I started to feel like myself. One sunny afternoon, Lily and I sat in the park. Children played nearby. The sky was clear. "You're smiling again," she said. I nodded. "I think I'm okay." She smiled back. "You're stronger than you know." A few months passed. Life became quiet again, but not empty. I had new routines now. I read more. I wrote every weekend. My story about Ryan kept reaching people. Sometimes strangers sent emails. Women told me their stories. Some were younger than me. Some were older. But all of them had one thing in common. They had loved someone who didn't love them back. One woman wrote, "I thought I was alone. Thank you for making me feel seen." I saved that message. I started feeling proud of what I survived. The pain was still a part of me, but it wasn't everything. Some days were hard. On some nights I still remembered his voice. I still wondered what was real. But then I would remind myself, I was strong enough to let go. One day Lily surprised me with a weekend trip to the lake. She said, "You need fresh air and new views." So we packed bags, bought snacks, and drove out of the city. The lake was quiet. The water was blue and calm. There were trees all around and birds in the sky. We stayed in a small cabin with old wooden floors and a porch swing. That night we sat outside. The stars were bright. I told Lily something I hadn't said before. "I used to think I needed love to feel complete," I said. She looked at me. "And now?" "Now I just want peace. I want honesty. I want to be safe." Lily nodded. "You'll find that. One day." I smiled. "Maybe. But right now I'm not waiting for anyone. I'm just learning to love my life." The next morning we went for a walk near the water. We found a small cafe and sat down for tea. While Lily was in the restroom, someone approached my table. "Excuse me," a man said. "Are you Julia?" I looked up. He was tall, with short brown hair and kind eyes. I didn't know him. "Yes," I said slowly. "I'm Ethan," he said. "My sister shared your blog post with me. I just wanted to say thank you. It helped her leave someone who wasn't good for her." I blinked. "Your sister?" "Yes. Her name's Claire. She read your story and finally saw her own life in it. She left that man 2 weeks ago. She's doing better now." My heart warmed. I had no idea who Claire was. But somehow my words reached her. Somehow I helped. "That means a lot," I said quietly. "Thank you for telling me." Ethan smiled. "You're welcome. I'm sure it wasn't easy to share that story. But I think it made a real difference." He was about to leave, but then he paused. "I don't want to be rude, but would you like to join me for coffee sometime? Just as a friend. No pressure." I looked at him. He seemed kind. Though not like Ryan. Not fast. Not smooth. Just real. I nodded. "Sure. That sounds nice." We exchanged numbers. It wasn't a big moment. It wasn't lightning or magic. But it was something new. Something calm. Something simple. That evening I told Lily about it. "You said yes?" she asked with a grin. I said yes. She laughed. "Good. You deserve a good man." I smiled. Right now I just want good people. Over the next few weeks, Ethan and I met a few times. We had coffee. We talked about books and music. He liked old movies. I liked writing stories about life. We didn't rush anything. We took our time. I told him about my past. About Ryan. About the lies and the pain. Ethan listened. He didn't interrupt. He didn't try to fix it. He just said, "I'm sorry that happened to you. But I'm glad you came through it." I looked at him and nodded. Me too. I didn't know what would happen next. Maybe Ethan and I would become close. Maybe we wouldn't. But for the first time I didn't feel afraid. I wasn't holding my breath. I wasn't waiting to be hurt. I was just living. And that was enough. Spring arrived and the city slowly changed. Flowers appeared on sidewalks. The bookstore grew busier. I felt lighter too. My past was still there, but it no longer controlled me. It was like an old chapter in a book I no longer needed to reread. Ethan and I kept meeting. We didn't talk every day. We didn't rush anything. But every time we met, I felt calm. No games. No pressure. He asked about my stories. He remembered little things I said. He never pushed. He just showed up, kind, quiet, and steady. One Saturday he invited me to a book reading at a local cafe. A poet was sharing work about love, pain, and healing. I wasn't sure I was ready to hear someone talk about broken hearts again. But something told me to go. The room was full but cozy. We sat near the front. The poet stood on a small stage and read a poem called "What We Survive." She spoke softly, but her words were strong. She said, "You were never weak for loving someone. You were only strong for walking away." I looked at Ethan. He gave a small smile. My chest felt warm. Not because I was falling in love, but because I was beginning to trust again. After the reading, we walked home slowly. "I liked the poem," I said. "Me too," he said. "I think it spoke to you." It did. Then he asked something simple. "Do you think you're ready for something new?" I didn't answer right away. Finally, I said, "I think I'm ready to grow. Not to rush. Not to forget. But to move forward." Ethan nodded. "That's a good answer." We didn't hold hands that night. We didn't kiss. But we walked side by side under the soft glow of streetlights. That was enough. Back at work, I continued writing. I added new posts about healing, strength, and second chances. I got messages from women around the world. One wrote, "I thought I was too broken to start again. Your story gave me hope." Another said, "I finally blocked his number today. I cried, but I did it." I replied to every message. Every word reminded me that I wasn't the only one. That pain was real, but so was recovery. One quiet evening, as I was closing the shop, I saw a man standing outside. My heart skipped. It was Ryan. I froze. He looked older, tired, but still had that soft smile. I didn't open the door. He mouthed, "Can we talk?" I shook my head. He waited a few seconds. Then he turned and walked away. I didn't cry. I didn't run after him. I didn't feel weak. I felt peace. I locked the door. I took a deep breath. And I walked home. That night I told Lily. "You saw him again?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "But it's okay. I didn't let him back in." She smiled. "You've changed. I'm proud of you." I smiled back. "I'm proud of me too." Weeks later, Ethan and I sat in a park under the evening sky. We were eating sandwiches and watching the ducks on the pond. He turned to me and said, "Julia, you know what I admire most about you?" "What?" "You didn't let pain stop you. You let it shape you but not define you." I looked at him and said, "Maybe that's what healing really is. Not forgetting, just learning to live with the truth, and choosing better next time." He nodded. "Exactly." He reached for my hand. I let him hold it. It felt simple. It felt safe. It felt right. Not like a story from a movie, but like real life. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't afraid of love anymore. Because this time I wasn't falling blindly. I was walking, with open eyes, a stronger heart, and a better understanding of who I was. And maybe, just maybe this time, I had chosen right.